Alright, so today we're looking at Coffeezilla, and he thinks that London Real's $1 million digital freedom platform's a joke, so let's listen to what he has to say on it.
Hello, welcome. Today, we've got a little something different going on. Sorry, we'll put that right there. We got a little high budget set going on here. What's going on here? What is this mysterious beverage? We'll have to find out. It relates to what we're talking about today, which is Brian Rose and his London Freedom platform, which is kind of a joke. It's pretty stupid. But I'd like to explain it to you guys because I think there's been a lot of miscommunication and misinformation about what the Freedom Platform actually is.
That they may take our lives, but they'll never take our
digital freedom platform.
So, what is the Freedom Platform? It's this crowdfunding campaign that Brian Rose of London Real put together that ended up raising $1 million. What started as an $100,000 crowdfunding campaign that he started, he just kept creating stretch goals for it. Like initially, he wanted to live stream this David Icke interview because he got super butt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have an issue with crowdfunding. I think I've said in the past that if somebody was to make a platform to rival YouTube, they should put their own money in. Sorry, no, not they should put their own money in. They don't have to put their own money in because all they have to do is crowdfund. They could set up a crowdfunding campaign. Okay, and people will donate to get that platform started. Now, I'm not saying that this is a platform to rival YouTube, and we're going to get into that later. But I think crowdfunding is a great idea. I think if you want to start up any project, I think crowdfunding is a great idea, not only to get the funds to start up that project, but also to gauge how many people are actually interested in the project. So I think that he's done a good job to set up a 1 million plus crowdfunding campaign. I donated only $5. I'm cheap like that, but I support his platform, and at the end of the day, we're gonna see in time what he actually produces.
Butt hurt that it got banned on YouTube, and I don't think it should have gotten banned. So he really wants to have a conversation with David Icke again. So he goes, "Okay, guys, what we're gonna do? We can't have a conversation on YouTube. Let's go ahead and throw it on the digital freedom platform." Now, little does Brian Rose know, hosting things costs a lot of money. So pretty quickly he finds out, oh, this is gonna cost more than I thought. So let me just crowdfund it. Instead of using my millions of dollars that I make every year from selling business accelerators, let's not call it a part of London Real. Let's call it something different.
Why would he use his money he's making from business accelerators? I mean, if I was to start up a platform, I don't have the following to do it. Otherwise, I would have. I'm sick and tired of YouTube, to be honest with you. Mine would not be some freedom platform. It would be because YouTube does restrict what you can say to a large degree, but I would get it crowdfunded. I mean, if you have built up a platform of people, I'm talking about you London Real now, if you've built up a following of over 1 million people, then you've put the work in to get to that point. Okay, and that's all free content. Let's not forget that everything's been put on there for free. Everything's put on YouTube for free. And what is that for? To really get you customers. It's a marketing tool. That's what YouTube really is. The real money, I mean, you already know this, that the real money doesn't come from making videos. The real money comes from using YouTube as a marketing tool to attract people into the other products and services that you're providing. So I don't see him doing really anything wrong. In fact, he's doing the right thing there.
Different.
This platform is of the people, by the people, for the people. And so we are creating a separate entity with its own separate funding. We're going to crowdfund this. And
it's not a part of London Real, even though we'll host it on the London Real website. We're going to make this separate thing that everyone's going to crowdfund. So they crowdfund $100,000 a lot faster than Brian Rose thought they would. And so he goes, okay, well, let's just make a bunch of new goals. So he starts pulling goals basically out of thin air.
But now we're getting in, that was phase 1. Now we're doing phase 2. Phase 3, and I'm moving into phase 4. And lastly, there will be phase 5.
Like he's like, oh, we got $100,000. Let's raise $200,000 to have even more controversial voices on. Let's bring them all in. Then he was like, oh, well, we've raised that. So let's create a blockchain for this new digital freedom platform, which, as you'll see in a moment, doesn't make any sense for what he's actually doing. And then he's like, let's raise $250,000 because, I don't know, let's make an app. Of what? I don't know. Then he's like, well, let's raise
we're still waiting for the app. I haven't seen it.
$250,000 to take YouTube to court because freedom, guys. And let me be honest, guys. I have nothing against his general message. That doesn't change the fact that people spent $1 million on Brian Rose's platform and they didn't get what they thought they were going to get. Because what do you think when you hear digital freedom platform?
Okay, so when it comes to the stretch goals, I mean, if people keep donating the money, okay, if people keep donating the money, then you have to create new stretch goals. I mean, what do you want the guy to do? He can't just leave it there and people keep donating the money. He has to give them a reason to justify their donation. He has to do that. We see that all the time in the gaming industry. When they have like a game that they want to fund and they start off low and then people keep donating and they put more and more and more. That's what they do because they need a reason to justify. Otherwise, people are gonna feel like, what did I give the money for? So, but the thing is, he has to actually implement all those things now. And that's what we're going to see later on down the line, if he's actually going to follow through.
Probably that it's online, it's all about freedom, and it's a platform, right? Like YouTube is a video hosting platform. You would think that the digital freedom platform is a platform of freedom that hosts videos or live streams or something like that. But it's actually not that. And it's also not independent like Brian Rose says it is.
Again, this is about us building something that we can use for the future. They will never ban us again.
The reason I know this is that I've done some investigation after a lot of people from Brian Rose's camp started asking me, what's going on with this? I feel like Brian Rose is maybe doing a cash grab and not actually building what he says he's building. So I looked into it, and there's a few things you should know about the London Real digital freedom platform. Number one, it's not a technology, okay? This isn't an actual platform like YouTube or Vimeo or something like this. Brian Rose has done nothing except for rely on different hosting platforms. For example,
that's true.
Instead of hosting on YouTube, he now hosts a lot of his videos on his platform on Dailymotion.
Yep.
Hey, stop what you're doing and see this exclusive offer we have on Jungle Scout. There's no better time.
Now, how that makes him independent from censorship and how that keeps him from being censored like he's always saying it does, I don't know.
They will never ban us again.
By the way, shout out to Equals Cash. I think I'm getting that name right, for finding that. He's the one who figured out that it was Dailymotion. You can find it in his source code.
It's dailymotion.com.
I mean, I don't even need the source code to know that it's Dailymotion. I just know how Dailymotion looks like.
But not only that. Because Brian Rose will tell you, well, maybe the digital freedom platform isn't about hosting. Maybe it's about live events. His big little live stream with David Icke was a live event. 1 million people, he kept saying it, 1 million people, guys.
I watched it.
This will be streamed to 1 million people simultaneously in the world.
We're building the technology.
Again, this is about us building something that we can use for the future.
Well, he wasn't building the technology. He rented the technology from another company called Decast. Now we know this because during the live stream, I looked in the page source code, and the place where the video player was getting its data from was from decast.com. Now, Decast is a white label company, and this is where we get to our little analogy for today, guys. You guys say I'm low budget, low effort. Come on, guys. Look at this tape. That's expert tape right there. That's serious effort. Okay, so what's a white label company? A white label is a product that doesn't brand itself because they want other people who want a brand to come on and buy their little white label product. So Decast basically says, hey, you can come to us, we will give you the streaming solution, and then you can just write your name on it, right? In this case, Digital Freedom Platform. Right, we'll write that real quick. In this case, we're writing Digital Freedom Beer, okay? But there's a problem with all this, right? Because, so he hires out the streaming technology from someone else, but all the while is sort of saying that he's, I mean, he makes it seem like it's a platform that he's building.
Again, this is about us building something that we can use for the future.
But it's not. He just bought it.
Yeah, I mean, as of now, he hasn't built any platform. He's actually right about that. He hasn't built any platform whatsoever. But I think his goals were too ambitious in such of a short notice. I think that's part of the problem there. I mean, how long did he have to do it? Like 2 weeks or something like that? I'm not sure, but it wasn't long enough of a time to really do all that. And that's you know, so we'll see in the future. We'll see in the future what he has down the pipeline. But as of now, yeah, he hasn't fulfilled what he said.
Let me try to explain what this is like, because I want to highlight the inconsistency here, okay? So basically, Brian Rose, let's use a beer analogy, right? Brian Rose is like a guy who gets mad at Miller Lite because they stopped selling him Miller Lite because he's butt chugging it all the time. And they say, hey, stop that. That's dangerous. That's dangerous to your health. And he says, no, freedom. I can do what I want with this thing. And what you're doing is really more like a public utility. You know, everyone needs this product, and you've capitalized the whole market, so you have to sell it to me. They say no. He goes, okay, fine. He goes to his followers and says, hey guys, I want to create a digital freedom beer. I'm going to create it with your help. Give me $100,000. Wait, no, $300,000. Wait, no, $500,000. Wait, no, $750,000. Wait, no, $1 million. And I will create the...
Well, to be fair, he never asked for $1 million. People just donated it. You know, he never asked for it. I don't think you can, you can put that on him like that.
Digital freedom beer. Would you be disappointed if you found out that he took a pre-existing thing and just slapped his logo on it and called it the Digital Freedom Beer? Like, wouldn't that seem a little lame? Like you're not getting what you were promised?
Yeah, I mean, look, I would be disappointed if that's all that we get. Let's say a few months down the line from now, he's still doing the same thing. Then I say, yeah, this guy, it is a joke. It is a joke, because then he would have had the, required amount of time to really set up a real platform and get the job done. Then I say, yeah, it's lame, and he hasn't done what he told us that he would do. So I think, if we give him a bit more time, we're going to find out whether this guy's legit or not.
You would get that. I think so. I mean, I think that's like the big hilarious thing about this whole project of Brian Rose or London Real or whoever you want to say is in charge of it. What is said to be the Digital Freedom Platform is just someone else's platform that he's paying for, which means, and this is important, that at any time they can take it away. They can say, hey, we're not going to sell this to you anymore, just like YouTube did, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Like Brian Rose's whole argument was, with the Digital Freedom Platform, we'll never be censored.
They will never ban us again.
Because they can't do that to us because it's ours.
This platform is of the people, by the people, for the people.
But it's not yours. At any time, the Digital Freedom Platform, which is really just Dacast and Dailymotion, can be taken away from you the same way that YouTube was taken away from you. So what did people spend $1 million on? That's the question. Because it sure wasn't a platform. It was like a one-time thing. It was like you brought one case of white label beer to the party. And like the level of grandstanding he did with all of this digital freedom stuff drove me crazy. Like he acted like he was the only guy fighting for free speech. You either donated for freedom or you sat back with your toilet paper rolls.
You can be on the front lines fighting if you want, or you can be fighting for someone else's freedom who's in the back with their toilet roll, hanging out, saying yes to all of the government. You can be that person if you want.
I just don't think this is doing anything, and I think...
Well, he is. His videos are waking people up to certain things, and whether you believe what he's saying is true or not, he should be given the opportunity to be able to say it according to freedom of speech. Now, I know people like to say that, YouTube is they're a private company, whatever, but at the end of the day, it's just the reality that YouTube don't even adhere to their own policies, because you're supposed to be able to have the freedom to say what you want to say, as long as it's not hateful, as long as it's not it's not violating the guidelines, which I'm not going to go into here, but you should be able to say what you want to say. The problem is that YouTube will pretty much remove anybody from the platform, even if you do not go against the guidelines. So they don't adhere to their own policies, and that's one of the major problems I have with YouTube.
It's a little bit disingenuous, the platform thing. I mean, I think the way it's pitched makes it sound like it's going to be more than just a few live streams until Brian Rose.
Yeah, I mean, I was not, I was a bit underwhelmed by what he released, but ultimately it comes down to the content. Is he giving us the content? And he's giving us the content. For me personally, I'm okay with what he's produced so far. I think what he's produced so far is, I've got my interviews, which I wouldn't have got on YouTube because YouTube banned them. I've got the content that I wanted to see. And as far as the $5 I spent, which is nothing, I should have put more in, but I'm cheap like that. As far as that, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that for the time being. But what I want from this guy is for him to actually make a platform, and what I really want is a platform that everybody can post on, that I can make videos on that platform, that the rest of us can make videos on the platform, because what YouTube is doing right now, is pretty much, it's so restrictive. I mean, videos that I put up a year ago that were on the platform for like 8, 9, 10 months, I re-upload them up to this channel and they get removed. And it's like, what the hell's going on here? Like, YouTube is just becoming so restrictive. It's not pleasant for me personally, and for a lot of other guys to even be on here anymore.
Runs out of money in his digital freedom platform, and he never talks about the platform again. But by the way, let's just talk real quick about the cost thing here, because I called the cast.
Call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurances purposes.
Because I wanted to know.
I mean, that's what I like about this guy. I mean, he always does his research. He always does his research. He always basically makes sure that he has the correct information. So that's what I like about him.
How much does it cost? To run an $100,000 live stream?
And they quoted us a price, basically $100,000 to stream 1 million people.
And the answer is not $100,000 like he said it was. Because DeCast picked up the phone. I said, hey, how much does it cost? I want to run a live stream for 1 million viewers. So I was reaching out because I was looking to get a custom quote on a live streaming solution. And I heard you guys can do white label streaming solutions.
Well, we're white labels to begin with. We have no branding. Where you're looking for a C name.
So I'm looking for a quote on how much basically compute it would be needed to basically have 1 million people concurrent live. They go, oh, funny, I know the price right off the top of my head because I just answered that question for somebody else, and we just did their live stream on Sunday, Rose Egg 3, and so they said, oh, yeah, this is how much it costs.
Right, so it would be 2.2 petabytes, and it would be $61,000.
Okay, $61,000.
It's basically $100,000 to stream 1 million people.
For about 1 million.
About 1 million for about 30 minutes. That's correct. We just had one of those on Sunday. That's why I know the pricing off the top of my head.
Are you concerned about the current fluctuations in the world's economy? Here are 3 pieces of advice from eToro users.
Okay, so $61,000. He said $61,000 for 30 minutes though. $61,000 for 30 minutes. So is that a scam? You know, I don't know if that's a scam. I mean, because the stream was 3 hours. You know, if it was 3 hours, it's gonna cost more than 61,000. It should cost more than 61,000. He said 61,000 for 30 minutes. So, you know, look, I personally like Brian Rose, okay? I like him. I like what he's doing. I like some of the people that come onto his channel. I think that ultimately only time will tell whether this guy is truthful or not. A lot of people are criticizing him right now. I'm seeing it in the comment section. They're saying that he's a scammer, he's a sleazy guy, he's a slime ball. But at the end of the day, the goals were ambitious. The main thing is we got our live stream. Whether it's the cast or his own service that he's created, we got our live stream. There were a few hiccups. Some people didn't actually get to even watch it. But we got our live stream. I watched it. It was okay. That's the main thing. Now, if you're going to take $1 million, because whether he asked for $1 million or not, he got it and he took it. You have to provide something better than what he has provided so far. Definitely. For $1 million, you have to provide something better. That's where I agree with Coffeezilla. Now the question is, where does he go from now? If he leaves it at that, 100% it's a joke and this guy is not to be trusted. That's what it comes down to. So, let me know what you guys think about this. It's the Unreal Man here, the Truth of Manosphere. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. And make sure to hit that notification bell so you are informed every time I upload a new video.